Alright, coming in at number 10, we have the Russian forest-eating hellmouth. Oh, hello then, nature-eating hellhole. I don't like you. The 300-foot Bata'yka crater dates back 50 years and is thought to be a doorway to the underworld. It seems that the crater is expanding at the rate of 30 to 100 feet each year, swallowing forest as it goes. She's hungry. The science behind the slow sink is that as permafrost continues to thaw away its layers, the ground underneath becomes even more exposed. It's a continuous cycle. Villagers from the area believe that this is a portal to hell because they've reported horrifying sounds coming from the hole. Their village may also soon be at risk of falling in. It's probably time to start praying. Or, a more practical option, packing your bags and moving on. Open wide at number 9, we have the Gardens of Arazo in Italy. Hello there, sir! You look mighty hungry, and to be honest, I understand. This cavey sculpture is an orcus, an ogre, but to me it looks kinda hellmouthy. It seems that the orcus's mouth actually appeared in an Italian horror film in 1964, which makes sense because look at it! Would you pop into this ogre's hellish mouth? I actually think I would. I kinda like it. I want a picture there. I'm all about the gram. Now apparently this garden was a huge inspiration for artists Jean Cocteau and my mate Salvador Dali, so I wanna go. Anyone up for a trip to northern Lazio in Italy? Let's go. Go to Lazio! Any excuse. Hell or no hell, our next place is a ghost town. Coming into number 8, we have Centralia, the town on fire. There is a town in deep dark Pennsylvania that has been abandoned. Why? Well, it's on fire and is now considered by some people to be a literal hellmouth. The town had actually been an active mine since the mid-1800s and was particularly booming between the 1940s to 60s. Unfortunately, since 1962 it's been burning from the inside. It's suspected that a fire started from deliberate trash burning underground in the mine, but the fire caught a plume of gas and could now well keep burning for over 250 years. The residents first noticed the fire when smoke began billowing from the ground, accompanied by a very foul smell. Not only that, carbon monoxide was detected seeping from the ground and, well, that's a killer. With temperatures hotter than the planet Mercury inside, it was decided that it was too dangerous to put out the flames, and as a result the town has been slowly evacuated. Many people remained until 1981, but then sinkholes of billowing poison gas started appearing, so yeah, time to get rid of Centralia. Don't go there. Don't go there, don't go there, don't go. I do enjoy a good Icelandic legend, and we have one at number 7. Yay! We've got Mount Hekla. You can understand why a lot of historic civilizations believe that volcanoes were portals to hell because, you know, fire, fire, doom doom, etc. It seems that most travelling Europeans had marked Iceland's superactive Mount Hekla as the gates of hell. In fact, in the 16th century, Caspar Peucer of Germany wrote that the gates of hell were indeed located at the bottomless abyss of Hekla Fell, so yeah. In Icelandic lore it is also said that witches gather on the volcano and that birds seen in the area are lost souls. I do love a good bit of imagination. Some even believe that Judas himself is imprisoned in Mount Hekla. The mountain has historically and presently been very, very active. It's been known to spew giant lava bombs of fire into the sky, which hasn't exactly done wonders for its rep. This hellgate has been noted to have erupted 20 times in traceable history, including very violent eruptions in 1104 and again in 1693. The most recent eruption was in the year 2000. We're now all just hoping and praying to the witches that it won't spew again, but it will. It will. Such as volcanoes. Coming into number 6 are the gates of hell hiding in England. Honestly, I've begun to suspect as much. That's right, next up we have Creswell Crags. The Creswell Crags are an enclosed limestone cave system on the border of Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. This isn't a million miles away from where Danny Burke is from actually, which now to me starts to make a lot of sense. Shout out Danny. So it seems earlier in 2019, quote unquote witch marks in the walls of the limestone leading down to a deep dark hole that has never been explored were found. Never explored, a deep dark hole. I don't like it. An unexplored part of the earth in a sleepy English countryside with witch marks to defend against dark forces? To me, I'm calling curse, and why doesn't someone go down there to investigate? Can the gateway to hell be found in an American storm drain? Find out at number 5 as we descend to Clifton, New Jersey. It It seems that an abandoned storm drain in Passaic County is the subject of a New Jersey urban legend. It's believed that it is the gateway to hell, or at the very least it's a hotspot for paranormal goings-on. It's said that the drain is filled with strange objects, occultist graffiti, and locked rooms. The legend says that there is a room only accessible to people with superhuman strength. The room is said to lead deep down into a labyrinth of passageways that descend down to Beelzebub himself, the big D-man, devil. I like Beelzebub as a description for the devil. It's kind of like, I don't know, zingy. Beelzebub. This deep hellhole will kill you at number 4. We have the Berkeley Pit in Montana. Is it a former copper mine? Or is it a portal to the underworld? Maybe a bit of both. The Berkeley Pit is 1 mile long and half a mile wide. It is a whopping 1,780 feet deep, 900 feet of which is filled with very acidic water. The acidity of the water is pH 2.5, which is similar to the acidity of lemon juice. Because of the corrosive nature of the water, various dangerous chemicals have developed in the water from the corroded metals and rock, making it a very poisonous deep hole. I don't believe in hell, like I said, but I do believe in arsenic and sulfuric acid, which are chemicals found in this hellhole that have actually been known to kill hundreds of birds and other wildlife unfortunate enough to get close. Coming into number 3, we have Pluto's Gate. The fabled door to the underworld was actually discovered in Turkey in 2013. It seems that the site was actually very prominent in Greek and Roman history and literature. True to legend, the real gate seems to emit a poisonous gas. The gate was found around the dig site of the ancient city of Hierapolis. The so-called gate is at the site of an ancient thermal spring that was said to have healing properties, but also had a portal to hell that would open at a moment's notice. Good, great. A door was built to the most deadly area and treated like a weird deadly tourist spot in the ancient times that people could pay to go and consult the oracle Pluto. Birds and small animals were sold to visitors to the gate so they could test how deadly it was. They would throw, say, a sparrow into the enclosed area and it would die. It seems that actually there is a geological explanation. Although it is still deadly, there is a deep fissure running beneath the Hierapolis that constantly emits volcanic carbon dioxide. The sun dissipates the gas in the area in the daytime, but it is deadly at dawn. Turns out, gas is the killer, not the gods. Coming into number 2, we have the Huska Castle Hell Pit. Listen, I'm all about a bit of Czech legend, and I always will be. This fascinates me. So according to folklore, Huska Castle, located in Blatka in North Prague, is built over a bottomless pit to hell. People who fell down it would never return because, you know, hell, it's pretty much a one-way ticket. The story goes that once a 13th century Bohemian king offered pardons to condemned men if they would consent to be lowered into the pit and report back what they saw. Actually, to be honest, I think that's pretty nice for a 13th century king. You don't get many reports of consent in the Middle Ages, so good on him. One prisoner is said to have been submerged for a few seconds. When he returned, the 30-year-old man's hair was grey. He talked about creatures with wings who grotesquely flapped through the darkness. Ugh. I don't like it. Sounds harpy-esque, and I don't like a harpy.
Starting off this countdown, we have Blue Ash, Ohio. According to an urban legend, there's a portal to hell in Blue Ash, Ohio. It's been given the name Satan's Hollow, and it's the place where a group of Satanists like to meet and conduct rituals there. Satan's Hollow is located in the woods near a storm drain. A number of residents have reported hearing screams from that tunnel at night. Maybe it's from the people being sacrificed there for Satan himself. So yeah, this group allegedly opened a portal to hell and go there whenever they can to make contact with Satan and perform satanic rituals for him. In our 9th spot, we have the Gates of Hell crater. Located in the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there is this 230-foot wide hole that has been on fire for over 50 years. In fact, its glow can be seen from miles away. So the crater was actually created in 1971 when the Soviets were drilling in the area, but their drilling rig accidentally hit a massive underground natural gas cavern. This caused the ground to collapse, forming a huge crater and sinkhole. Now, here's the mystery. They don't know how the crater ignited in the first place, but it's been burning for nearly 50 years, even after people have tried to put the fire out. So it's thought that this area leads directly to hell. I mean, it's a fiery sinkhole. What if it just sucks you down and then brings you right to hell? Moving on to number 8, we have Helm. And I mean, the name itself literally has hell in it. Coincidence? I think not. Anyways, Helm is a small town near York, Pennsylvania, and legend goes that this location is home to one of the real 7 gates of hell. So according to the folklore, there is an abandoned insane asylum located on the outskirts of this town. In the 19th century, there was a fire at the asylum which killed some inmates, and let the most dangerous inmates escape. Some were caught and then tortured or even killed. Others were trapped inside a series of gates, which they still haunt to this day. One of these gates is said to lead to hell. Over the years, this story has changed, but it's still believed that one of the gates is there in that town. In our 7th spot, we have Stull, Kansas. The small town of Stull in Kansas is another place said to have a gate to hell. First off, the town is rumored to be cursed. Apparently, it's been haunted by a number of demonic forces since the 1970s. Rumor has it that this is because the gate to hell is somewhere in that area. They think it's either in Stull Cemetery or by the United Methodist Church. Stull Cemetery, though, is said to be where people would go to practice occult rituals and contact Satan. In 1974, a newspaper wrote an article claiming that the devil was spotted twice in Stull that year. Once on Halloween and once on the spring equinox. That's why people started to believe that someone located and opened a gate to hell in the area, and now Satan has a way to get into our world. In fact, the town has to have 24-hour security because people like to jump the fence of that cemetery and explore the property looking for this gate or portal. In our 6th spot, we have the opening of the gate ritual. So apparently there's a ritual that you can perform in order to open a gate to hell. You know, in case it's ever been on your bucket list. According to occultist Astenu Sever, he performed this ritual in the past with some other occultists. He performed it on some historical grounds in the Balkans. He won't tell us the exact location though. And also, he said that they all took an oath so that they can't share what happened on that day. But he alludes to the fact that the ritual did work, and he even wrote a full article on how you can open a portal to hell yourself. Do I recommend you listen to him and try it? No, definitely not. He even shared a huge warning outlining all the risks of doing so. So let's just say it won't be pretty. But now there's a gate to hell somewhere out in Europe, and we don't really know where. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the family home portal. In 2008, Steph Harper, her husband Colin, and their 3 kids moved into a new home in North Wales. But as they started to settle in, they noticed something was off about their home. Shortly after moving in, they heard these weird banging noises and saw shadowy apparitions and stuff. You know, the typical paranormal stuff. But the biggest thing that her and her family noticed was that their house would smell of rotten flesh. Don't know how she knows what rotten flesh smells like, but that's besides the point. Smelling something rotten can be an indicator that your home is being haunted. After investigating, Steph believes that there is a portal to the spirit world in her lounge area in her house. She believes it was created before her house was built in the 1950s or 60s. But that's why her house has such a strong connection to the paranormal. Moving on to number 4, we have the Emerald Hill Hell House, otherwise known as the Demon House. This Pennsylvania house gets its name because of how haunted it is. Now, not much is known about it. It belongs to the McHugh family estate. The new owners of the house learned that the land that the mansion was built on was once a burial ground. So I mean, that right there is a bad sign. But wait, it gets worse. Sometime in the late 1860s, a woman named Carla arrived at the house. The house was given to her by her uncle who lived in Scotland. Sometime while living there, she decided to excavate some of the property. But while doing so, she found well over 70 unmarked graves. It said that when she unearthed these graves, she unleashed the evil on the land and opened a portal to hell. That's why the area is a hotbed for paranormal activity. Moving on to number 3, we have the portal opening incident. So apparently there's something called a portal opening ritual game, where you can use a mirror to open a door to the spirit world. I don't know about you, but that does not sound like a game at all. Anyways, a guy named AJ decided, hey, let's try this out. Why not? What on earth could possibly go wrong? So he was visiting his grandma's farmhouse and was like, this is the perfect location. So he grabbed the supplies he needed, including a full-length mirror. He followed the ritual, but he was goofing around with it all and he didn't think it would actually work. Well, while goofing off, he accidentally broke the mirror. He never got to properly close the portal, and now that the mirror is broken, he can't close it at all. Ever since then, the spirits followed him home and his place is haunted. So what did we learn today, folks? Don't play this portal game, don't fool around with spiritual games, and lastly, don't buy cheap mirrors. In our second spot, we have the ocean on fire. Earlier this year, a fire started in an underwater pipeline in the middle of the ocean. The ocean was then literally on fire, which seems hella impossible, but it happened anyways. So the fire was caused by a gas leak from an underwater pipeline in the Gulf of Mexico. People began sharing images of the ocean on fire and were like, oh my god, it's a portal to hell. Not gonna lie, it really does look like one. I don't know about you, but I didn't have Portal to Hell on my 2021 bingo card. And in our number one spot today, we have the Crescent Hotel. The Crescent Hotel is referred to as the most haunted hotel in America. According to the legend, in 1937, Norman G. Baker, a millionaire inventor, turned a hotel into a hospital and posed as a doctor. He claimed that he had a cure for cancer. As a result, he began to treat patients despite having no proper training. This dude made up a weird mixture of alcohol, glycerin, carbolic acid, and he mixed it with tea from watermelon seeds and brown corn silk and clover leaves, and then he would give it to his patients, saying that this was the cure. As a result, many of the people he treated ended up dying. Over the years, many guests at this hotel have reported seeing ghosts and would experience paranormal activity. Then in 1997, the hotel's new owners decided to bring in a medium. The medium discovered that there is actually a portal to the spiritual world inside this hotel. Apparently it's located on top of what used to be the morgue. The medium said that, and I quote, "The dimension holds spirits of the dead." So, it sounds like hell to me.
Starting off this countdown at number 10 is York County, Pennsylvania. York County, Pennsylvania has become a popular tourist destination due to two circling urban legends that suggest it is the home to the 7 gates of hell. I've always wondered where the 7 gates of hell are. One legend claims that the area was once the home to an insane asylum that burned down with all the patients inside. The other legend claims that there was once an eccentric physician who built several gates along the path that led into the forest. The thing that these two stories have in common is that if you pass through all 7 of the gates located in the area, then you'll find your way into the underworld. Legend also says that no one has ever made it past the 5th gate, and this may be due to the fact that the gates are located on private property, so those who even attempt to cross it may just be the subject of a trespassing ticket. Worth it in my opinion. I'd like to try to get to gate 7.
In our number 9 spot today, we have the Actun Tunchil Muknal cave. I probably said that horribly wrong, so I apologize. This cave sits in the middle of the jungle in Belize and wasn't found until 1989. To even access the cave, you have to swim in and then wade up in the cave river for a kilometer. After this, once you walk another kilometer and a half past some huge boulders and many large rooms, one of which is known as the cathedral, you'll make it to the back of the cave where you'll find the skeletons of the ritual sacrifices made by the Maya in order to appease their gods from over 1,000 years ago. The skeletons are plentiful and they range in age, but they mostly all were sacrificed in the same way, which is a little too gruesome for me to say on YouTube. There is one skeleton that stands out in particular, however, and is known as the Crystal Maiden. This skeleton belonged to a boy and is unique in its positioning, as well as the fact that it has 2 crushed vertebrae, which suggests to researchers that this person may have died in a more violent way than the others. This skeleton has been laying in this cave for the last 1,100 years, which is long enough for it to have completely calcified, which gives it a sparkling appearance. The reason for the sacrifices are unknown, but it is believed that it was either to appease the gods of the underworld, or because those who were sacrificed were believed to be witches, so they were intentionally left there, unburied, so that their souls would be trapped. Regardless of whatever secrets this cave is holding, it is believed to be tied to the underworld in some way or another, and I have to agree that the evidence is compelling.
Sliding into the number 8 spot is the Masaya volcano. The Masaya volcano is located in Nicaragua and for years has been believed to be the mouth of hell. It is believed that some sort of god or sorceress or demon lives inside the fiery pit of the caldera. Due to the frequent and unpredictable eruptions from the volcano, it became quite feared by those who lived in the area surrounding it, and it became a place of human sacrifice in an attempt to appease whatever high higher power was controlling the eruptions. In 1529, a man climbed to the top of the volcano and placed a cross up there as he was hoping it would call on Jesus to help, as well as work to exorcise whatever demon lived within the depths of the magma so as to stop the flowing lava. It was written in 1541 that the continuous volcanic activity must have been due to supernatural causes, and it was called the place from which the condemned are thrown by the demons. Sounds terrifying.
In our number 7 spot today we have Mount Hekla. Mount Hekla is a stratovolcano that is located in South Iceland. This is an extremely active volcano site which has probably not helped with the belief that it is an entrance to hell. There is an Anglo-Norman poem entitled Voyage of Saint Brendan, and in it mentions that this volcano is the prison of Judas, who was the apostle who famously betrayed Jesus, which is just not a good look for either Judas or this volcano. Birds flying around the volcano were once thought to be lost souls, and it was believed that the volcano was the meeting site for many witches who were intending to meet with the devil. All of these legends combined, it totally makes sense as to why people would think some sort of dark and evil powers lurk inside of this volcano, especially considering it is one of the most active volcanoes in Iceland.
Moving on to number 6, we have Lacus Curtius. Legend has it that this location in the middle of the Roman Forum is an entrance to the underworld. According to Roman historians, this pit appeared in the middle of Rome and nothing could fill it. This led to an oracle prophesizing that the pit would not close until a sacrifice was made, and if no sacrifice occurred, the abyss would destroy the Roman Republic. Of course, neither of these are great options, but one guy was willing to take one for the team. Not me. Marcus Curtius, who the site is now named after, realized that the strength of Rome relied on its weapons and the bravery of its citizens, so with weapons and a full suit of armor, he rode his horse straight into the pit where both of them perished. While he was of course regarded as a hero, it is said that he rode straight into the underworld. Is he a hero though? Or just a fool?
In our number 5 spot today we have the Gates of Guinea. In the world of voodoo, the souls of the dead live in an area of the underworld called Guinea, and they must pass through this area in order to reach the deep waters where they'll be reunited with their ancestors. Before they reach the deep waters, however, they are the most susceptible to being zombified by hoodoo magicians, which is why they must pass through the 7 gates before this happens. Once through the 7 gates, they'll meet the spirit called Baron Samedi, who is the one who presides over Guinea. Once they meet the spirit, he will guide them into the world of the dead. Some people believe that the 7 gates are a spiritual thing, but others believe they exist in the real physical world in New Orleans. Here's where things get freaky though. The gates have to be passed through in the proper order. If passed through in the incorrect order, the gates can allow dangerous spirits to enter the world of the living, where they will then grab humans to drag down with them into the underworld. There's a traditional voodoo rhyme that goes along with this that is said to describe the proper timing for opening the gates of Guinea, and that is 7 nights, 7 moons, 7 gates, 7 tombs. The final important part of this process is that the guardian at each gate needs to have respects paid to them, so if you're ever passing through the gates of Guinea, just keep that in mind.
Taking over the number 2 spot is Mount Osore, Japan. Mount Osore is the name that relates not to just one single mountain, but an entire mountainous area. The name of it translates to Mount Fear, and this area is known as the entrance to the afterlife because it features all of the geographical elements that are similar to the Japanese Buddhist descriptions of both paradise and hell. Not only is the area home to 8 symbolic mountainous peaks, but also a lake and highly acidic water that only one species of fish can survive in, and none other than a bunch of pits of vipers. Beyond this, however, there is a river that is known as the boundary between earth and hell. This is where all the souls must cross in order to reach the afterlife, and if you were to visit the area, you would find statues and offerings along the banks of the river, which are intended to help the past souls find their way on the journey, because it is definitely not good if the souls get lost along the way. Every year from July 22nd to the 24th, those wanting to communicate with the dead will head to the temple located here to speak with spiritual mediums.
And in our number 1 spot today we have Fangdu. Fangdu is located in China and is also often referred to as the City of Ghosts. For a long time it has been believed that this is where the dead stop on their way towards the afterlife, and it is here where they must pass 3 tests in order to pass on to their next life. The first test is for the newly departed soul who must cross over the bridge of helplessness, which is meant to judge their virtue. There are demons there who judge whether the soul is good or bad, and the good ones can pass while the bad ones are pushed into the water below. The ones who pass the first test go on to the ghost torturing pass, where they present themselves for judgment in front of Yanluo Wang, who is a Chinese deity who is also ruler of the underworld. If they pass the judgment test, then the third and final trial takes place at the Tianzi Palace, where they will stand on a certain stone on one leg for 3 minutes. This is because it is said that only a good soul can accomplish this, while an evil one will fail and be condemned to hell. Other than being the site for these 3 tests, Fangdu also now has many temples and shrines which hold paintings and sculptures that depict people being tortured for their sins. So all of this really goes to show exactly why people believe why this place just may be the entrance to the underworld.